Shots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen. It is Silicon Steve Valli. I'm, of course, being hosted with Vladi, Dadi. He liked to party. We are back. Been a long time. Again, life has been around. And we are back, though, talking about professional wrestling. And not really stuff off camera for the first time in seemingly forever. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things in the world of professional wrestling. Vladi, Dadi, how are you doing? And are you ready? And are you excited about some of the upcoming things happening in all of the world of this craziness of professional wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely excited with what's evolving here. It's been a while, as you said. However, we are back, and we're going to touch base on a couple different topics that have intrigued you and I for sure. And if we can lead off with one particular, especially when it's near and dear to my heart. Now, we actually had a situation this past Dynamite where we saw Swerve in Our Glory against the number one contender, FTR, for a title match against the Acclaimed, which in reality, and again, I'm not a millionaire or billionaire booker. However, the way I looked at this was, this is a train wreck right from the word go, because you have the Acclaimed as the most popular tag team, or one of the top two most popular babyface tag teams. FTR is arguably one of the other top two babyface tag teams. And you are dangling a carrot as if you're going to actually consider having them go against each other, which we knew wasn't going to happen. So you just had FTR, who was the number one contender for, what was it, 6 months?
5.
Right? 5 months, I'm sorry. I don't want to go and extend or make it a lie. So 5 months, and they never got a shot at the title the entire time. But then they lose to Swerve in Our Glory. So Swerve in Our Glory can now get the rubber match between the Acclaimed and themselves. And we never got the rubber match between the Young Bucks and FTR, because this takes precedence on AEW television. And where I'm bothered by this, Mr. Silicon Steve Valli, is this. They have totally, again, neutered FTR in ways. Because what I'm hearing and getting some, seeing some things online is that in terms of Ring of Honor, and really this is what Tony Khan is doing, is that, in my opinion, he is putting FTR more on the Ring of Honor type show. So you're going to have to watch them probably on HBO Max more than anything versus their show. So he basically decided to take away the best tag team on the planet off of his main show, just so we can see a feud with Swerve in Our Glory, who, by the way, we could see it 100 miles away, that Keith Lee and Swerve are basically going to be separating soon anyways. So it's all very predictable. So I don't understand this type of booking. I think it's a disgrace in some ways. Dax posted something interesting today. Not sure what the future holds, sort of thing.
What did he say? Let's get the exact quote from Dax. Yeah. That's exactly what he said. I have it right here. We have Dax from FTR. Since 2014, our goal was to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I don't know if we've reached that, but we'll damn sure keep trying. Thank you all for going on this journey. Not sure where the next few years will take us, but I can't wait for one last run. Top guys out. Now, with that, he shows the classic matches between American Alpha and themselves in the NXT. Yep. The classic matches against DIY.
Great matches.
Classic matches with the triple threat match with DIY and Authors of Pain.
Beautiful match.
Then he also shows the Young Bucks FTR 2.
Yep.
The
very good match too.
And both Briscoe matches. And then, of course, we have the last one with Aussie Open. And then at the bottom of the next one, they show just them and the Bucks, and then another one with them battling CM Punk and Moxley.
Wow, so Swerve in Our Glory didn't make those pictures, huh?
Well, it's just interesting. For me, that's an interesting situation. He is reminiscing clearly about all of their career together, and those were his favorite picks. Those are the ones that he felt to spotlight.
Yeah,
so that's what's interesting. And it seems like, are those two unsaid stories? Is that why he added those two pictures? You can read a lot into that. But the bottom line is, I don't think it would even be a question right now. When Triple H takes over WWE, folks, it hit a reset button for dozens and dozens of talent. You've seen several of them already, including Bray Wyatt and Karrion Kross. FTR was booked perfectly. FTR became the best tag team in the world in Triple H's NXT. That is a fact, Jack. What they did in NXT was the genesis of them even being considered to have a rivalry with the Young Bucks, where Fuck the Revival started by Cody Rhodes, ironically, which is another reset button, even though it was prior to Vince McMahon leaving. Yep. But guess what? Dax and Cash are probably going to be the Revival once again, because we know Triple H loves tag team wrestling and he knows how good those guys are. What in the blue hell is stopping them from going back to WWE come spring of 2024 when their contracts, or I'm sorry, 2023 when their contracts expire? Nothing. They've accomplished everything that there is to accomplish, except for that last match against the Young Bucks. And if they're checking out, they're jobbing to the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team ever.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
And to your point, because you can see FTR are going to win that second tag team championship. They are going to do that. I know that for a fact. But it's what could have been. And we're all going to know it because we're going to know that they're leaving. And everything that I've said to defend Tony Khan and how he has booked this, everything I've said, I'm looking the fool. I'm looking like an idiot. I no longer have this great faith in Booker of the Year. I don't know what is going on, but FTR has done everything despite Tony Khan and despite AEW putting them in a prime spot. They have completely squandered a team that had every piece of momentum possible. And to have them lose, even though it protected them with the low blow and Swerve's turning and all that, at the end of the day, you squandered everything that they just built by themselves with the help of other companies that trust them to keep their tag division right at the top level, that they are the tag team champions. They're the standard of that division. When they are the standard, then you have a hell of a tag team division. It's that simple. That's why they're champions everywhere else. That's why. So Tony Khan, I can't defend you anymore when it comes to FTR. I can't. I want to, but I can't. And FTR is going to run away and reclaim their name, and the characters that they built in NXT very much did a lot of that hard lifting themselves. And the Revival, which is a much better name anyway, the Revival will ride again. And you know what? Now that Triple H is there, it wouldn't be that bad.
I 100% agree with what you just said, honestly. And I can see it coming a mile away. Like, and that hit, like the way he wrote that, those guys like put, how can I put this? They let it bleed. It would be easy to play cards with those guys, especially Dax. And I find that endearing in some ways, you know, and I know what I'm dealing with that guy, really, you know, in terms of what's important to him. It's like he just puts it out there. And I admire a lot what he finds endearing. And I give him a lot of credit because this is a guy who wasn't born into the system. He had to work hard for it. And he was able to connect with his tag team partner here with Cash. And they've done a hell of a job. And it really has been squandered, as you said. And honestly, there's some egos behind the scenes that didn't necessarily want to play ball. And this greatness was avoided. And I'm really sick of it. So, but yeah, we're going to get a chance to see the Acclaimed against Swerve in Our Glory. And, and again, I'm one of the bigger marks for the Acclaimed. This is not a shot against them. It just, there's no way you would want at this moment in time, especially being rushed at full gear, especially the Acclaimed versus FTR.
No, you can't. Acclaim will probably have it till at least Winter is coming. Usually something significant happens when Winter is coming. Mm-hmm. But you can't have FTR beat the Acclaim. You have to have a heel team do it. You're not going to have it be. Certainly not going to have it be Swerve in Our Glory because they are breaking up, which they've been foreshadowing for months. Yep. They foreshadowed it even before they won the championships.
Yep.
They've explained it very subtly if you have to pay attention to their backstage interviews because they never put them out, which is ridiculous. They all could cut decent promos. Put them out in front of the crowd. Have one of your 15-minute matches only 7 minutes. Have some more. I know people hate promos, though. That's against AEW love. But again, we have to know why these things are happening. And if you miss one backstage segment, there are usually 2 minutes. You might miss a big part of the storyline. That's why people aren't. A lot of these mid-card storylines are never catching fire, Tony.
Yep.
And it is what it is. I hope he has a plan. I think the plan does have FTR win the championships, and I think the Young Bucks beat them on their way out. Mark this down right now, October 30th. Mark it down, dude. That's how they're going to book it. Bucks beat them for the championship on their way out.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You and I are going to watch that match, maybe together even. And it's going to be like really bittersweet. It's going to be like, okay, it's like.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, we saw this coming. We know, it was just typical as far as like what we called a year in advance, if you will.
Well, you did. I was defending. I thought that they still had plans to do it. Maybe they did. I mean, obviously, with everything they found out with CM Punk and the Brawl out, as it's been dubbed, you gotta. It doesn't matter. You had lightning in a bottle. You have to seize it. Tony Khan has been. He always preached about, and we killed McMahon for a long time. Story writes itself, Vince. Just do what the fans want to see. Tony Khan, same thing. Do what the fans want to see. You're not. Because backstage politics have got it. We thought AEW was above it. It's not. No. This happens in every wrestling company that doesn't have Vince McMahon at the top. And now Triple H at the top. Other than WWE, this happened in some respect. WCW said in pre-production, all the similarities between WCW late 90s to AEW now. They ran at the show. The Hogan, Nash, the NWO guys ran that show.
Yep.
The mid-carders could do whatever the hell they wanted anyway. And the heavy players were booked predominantly by Eric Bischoff and Kevin Sullivan and Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash. They all had their hands in the cookie jar. And it's very hard to run a company like that without egos getting involved eventually, because every motherfucking wrestler who ever got in the building has a big ego, because you can't do what they do without having a big ego. So obviously it's going to get into play. I didn't think it would happen like that. I thought the Young Bucks were better if they are the culprit here. But the fact of the matter is they got rid of FTR. And now you can't hear jerk-offs like us say that they're the number one contender and they should get the title shot. That just all went away.
Yeah, they decided to take that away from us.
And they did.
Yep.
It protected them again, as we said before. It did protect them. But, wow. It's coming to pass, and I can't defend Tony Khan anymore, and his booking overall has been abysmal in 2022. That's a reality. I lost 10 followers for saying that right there. So.
Yeah.